Hello Breath of Fire fans, this is Hellfire RPGs and welcome back to my Breath of Fire binge where I'm playing through the entire series and creating loads of Breath of Fire content. I've just finished up with Breath of Fire 4, so naturally it's time to dig into some facts. Let me know which facts you found the most interesting or if I missed anything good. Let's get into it. As with the other Breath of Fire games, there is quite a bit of cut content hidden on the game disc that can be accessed through hacking. Firstly, there was a spell named Identify that was intended for Skias. This acted similarly to the enemy scan spell from Breath of Fire 3. This spell is actually fully functional and even has a unique animation. However, the display of the details do look a bit glitchy due to the text bleeding. Now, this spell was fully functional in the Japanese version but was left mostly untranslated in the Western release. This lack of translation was due to time constraints as Breath of Fire 4 was produced over a period of 7 months and needed to be released just before the holiday season. As a result, this spell and some other portions of the game such as the ending credit sequence and title graphics were left untranslated. Now speaking of translation, Skias' entire personality was adjusted for the Western release. In the Japanese release, he was a drunken swordsman. There were several references to Skias' alcoholism that was cut from the English release, as well as his slurred speech patterns being replaced with a stutter. If you ask me, I would have preferred a drunk Skias. Ladies and gentlemen, it looks like the censorship strikes again. See what I did there? There are quite a few scenes that were present in the Japanese version but were either cut down or completely removed for the international release. We'll start with Ursula and the sailors. In the Japanese version, Ursula drops her pants in front of the sailors so that she and the group can board the ship. I guess that this was meant to prove that she was strong, or that she had balls. Or not, I don't know. But Ursula yet again features in this scene. In the English version, when Ryu swings his arm around, he touches Ursula's breasts. However, there is no reaction by anyone. In the Japanese version, however, there is a reaction. You know, because touching boobs in public is inappropriate. I'm a bit confused here. Was the removal of a reaction an attempt to teach our kids that it's okay to touch a woman's breast? Or did they just hope that by the characters not reacting that no one would notice that he snuck in a grope? And you wouldn't believe it, but Ursula features yet again in this one. In the Japanese version, there is a scene where Ursula and Nina are bathing, naked. You don't get to see anything, but there is a unique portrait showing that they have no clothes on. Now, let's put sexual references and nudity aside. In the Japanese version, this scene shows Fulu completely murdering the Emperor by decapitating his head. I guess this was too violent for the English version as this part was completely removed. Did anyone manage to get their hands on the Breath of Fire 4 manga series? In 2008, an official manga adaptation was released under the title of, forgive me here, I'm going to butcher this so bad, Atsuro Wazaru Mono, Breath of Fire 4. This was released as a 5-part series. There are a few interesting additions here that are worth mentioning. While the game never goes into exactly what the Dragon's Eye does for Ryu, the manga states that it gives Ryu the limited ability to see the future as well as the ability to see through Fulu's eyes. Now this is a little different to what the game manual states, that it grants Ryu the power to transform into a dragon. The ending also differs between the two versions. In the game, Ryu absorbs Fulu after defeating him, but in the manga, Ryu allows Fulu to coexist with him, asking him to travel and see the world as Ryu sees it. Now let's talk about the music, which deserves a special mention as there are some ripper tracks. The soundtrack of Breath of Fire 4 was composed solely by Yoshino Aoki, who previously worked on the music of Breath of Fire 3. But did you know that she actually sung the lyrics for both Breath of Fire 4's ending theme and the credits track to Breath of Fire 3? But these games came out years ago. More recently, she was the composer for Final Fantasy 15 and Suikoden Tychus, as well as being the arranger for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Keep up the good work. There are always a lot of interesting facts around the Breath of Fire series translations and original Japanese names. In the Japanese version of the game, Urshin's original name was Master, and this is also the Chinese word for two spirits, which makes a lot of sense. This next one is awesome. Remember all of those kids in the orphanage? If you place all of the Japanese names in this order, they translate to, I'm lining up these kids' names. Next, we have the Whelk. A whelk is a common name that is applied to various kinds of sea snails, and you can definitely see the resemblance in the whelks of Breath of Fire 4. However, in the Japanese version, the whelk is called the omu, which is a reference to the omu from Studio Ghibli's 1980s anime, Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. The name of the master Aroof is a portmanteau of the Japanese pronunciation of the name Ralph and Wolf. This is no doubt inspired by the cartoon character Ralph Wolf. And as mentioned in my other Breath of Fire Know the Facts videos, Bunyan is named after the legendary woodsman Paul Bunyan. The names of Rasso's warrior spirits are also very interesting. When combined, their names form Joy Mecha Fighto, the name of the old NES game Joy Mecha Fight. And finally, the Japanese name and animation for the skill Disembowel references Akuma's Shun Goku Setsu move from the Street Fighter series. Now here's a few gameplay facts that those newer to the series might not know about. The first is the ability to guard and attack at the same time. Just have your first two characters guard, then with the third character hold either R1 or L1 and select charge. All three characters will then attack, and if either of the first two characters are attacked, they will guard it. Then there's healing with apples. When you go into the woods to find the mare, you'll have to use apples to lure out the animal. During this event, you can use Urshan's headbutt move on the tree, which will allow you to obtain an unlimited amount of apples. The fact that these heal 100 HP is handy enough, but you can sell them for 10 zenny each, which could net you 990 zenny if you collect 99 of them. This could be very useful at the start of the game. Now, here's an awesome technique that allows you to obtain an incredible amount of EXP in a very short time. First, you need to go to Sinshon and find some bots. Ideally, you want to encounter 2 or 3 of these rather than just one. If you hit them with a weak magic combo such as Jolt from casting Eddy and Frost, their bodies will burst open, which will double the EXP that you obtain from them. Then by having your mages heal the bots, they will revert into their original form, ready for you to magic combo them once again. This will again double the total EXP for the fight. If you continue to repeat this, you'll net up to 65,535 EXP for each bot. Now just imagine how many levels you would jump if there were 3 bots and you used Monopolize to force all EXP onto a single character. This was Hellfire RPGs, thanks for watching. Be sure to hit like and sub so you don't miss out on the Breath of Fire 5 videos coming soon. See you next time.